Hello, and welcome back to the Dean's List. I'm your host, your Dean of Students, and your very best friend, Mr. Walters. Today, we're continuing to celebrate National Hispanic Heritage Month, which runs from September 15th to October 15th each year. It's a time to honor the cultures and contributions of Hispanic and Latino Americans. There are over 65 million Hispanic and Latino Americans living in the United States, people who came from or who are the descendants of someone from a Spanish-speaking country or Latin America. Today, we're going to learn about one of the most famous artists in history, Frida Kahlo. I'm going to be reading from two different books that you can find in the Ponderosa Library. The first is called Women in Art, 50 Fearless Creatives Who Inspired the World, which is written and illustrated by Rachel Ignotofsky. And the second book is Amazing Women, Over 100 Lives to Inspire You, by Lara Wilson and Sarah Green. I'm reading from both today because each book had such great information that it was impossible to choose. Frida Kahlo is one of the world's most iconic artists. Born in a rural village outside Mexico City to a Mexican mother and German father, her surreal paintings draw from Mexican folk art and religious imagery and are some of the most instantly recognizable in history. Frida was born on July 6, 1907. At the age of 6, she contracted polio, which caused permanent damage to her right leg. Despite this, Frida grew up playing sports and even wrestling. She enjoyed drawing, but she focused her studies on science and medicine. At the age of 18, she was horribly injured in a violent bus crash and her life would change forever. Doctors had to put her in a full-body cast, and Frida would be stuck in a hospital for months. To help pass the time, Frida's family built her a special easel that allowed her to paint while lying down in bed. This is when she realized that she wanted to devote her life to art. Throughout her life, Frida experienced chronic pain and endured countless surgeries. Frida turned her emotional and physical pain into the inspiration for some of the world's most beautiful paintings. Frida had a passion for politics and traditional Mexican heritage. She often wore crowns of native flowers and traditional folk dresses to express her love for her country. She also confronted her unusual looks through her paintings. With her thick eyebrows and dark hair on her upper lip, she rejected the Western idea of beauty and never shied away from portraying her true self in her art. During the 1930s, Frida gained widespread recognition. In 1938, she held her first solo exhibition in New York, where she proved to be a phenomenon, selling half of her exhibit paintings. Finally, in 1953, she was invited to stage her first solo exhibition in her homeland. By this point, confined to bed rest, she caused a stir when she arrived by ambulance and was carried into the gallery in her 4-poster bed. The exhibition was a huge success, but Frida's health continued to fail and she died the following year at just 47. A self-taught master of her craft and a true original, Frida Kahlo will be forever celebrated as the woman who turned adversity into unforgettable art. Friends, Frida Kahlo was truly an amazing artist. And guess what? I was lucky enough to visit her home in Mexico City, where I saw where she lived, where she painted, and the impact she had on the world. And of course, I was able to sample some of the amazing cuisine of Mexico City. I hope you'll learn more about Frida Kahlo by reading about her in either of these two books or by checking out a third book in our Ponderosa Library. It's called Viva, Frida by Yuyi and Photography by Tim O'Meara. In addition to being a Caldecott honor book, this book also won a Pura Belpré Award, which we learned about in our last episode. We're so lucky to have such great books in our library. Make sure you check them out.
Friends, thanks for joining us today. He's been your host, your Dean of Students, and your very best friend, Mr. Walters. And we'll see you next time on
The Dean's List!